Hello, my name is HAPruitt, and I am the author of the Anathalian series, and I am also an editor. And this video and this video series is going to be about editing your book. I'm going to explain how to edit a book, all the stages, all the steps. Not all steps are going to be absolutely necessary to edit a book, but all of the steps will be helpful in making your book the best it can be, whether you're traditional publishing or self-publishing. A lot of them will apply to both before you even get your book to the point of sending it to query or sending it to an editor. This will help you self-edit your book to make it the best it can be. If you want to know about my editing services or the 4 types of editing, I have that in a video, and I'll put that video down in the description you can watch. If you're interested in hiring me as an editor, or you just want to know like the basics of the 4 types of editing, then you can watch that video linked in the description. And if you have any questions or if you have suggestions of editing topics, please leave them in the comments. So I'm going to go ahead and get to the video for this week. Alright, so this editing video is going to be about editing while you are writing. So a lot of people will say, do not edit while you're writing, just get it out. Just get it out on paper first and edit later. But it does help to do some editing as you go. I'm not saying like every time you're like, oh, I don't know what to do, go back and just edit the whole thing and stop. I'm not saying that. Listen and stick with me and I'll explain what I mean. So if you have the time, each time you start your writing session, read over everything that you wrote last time. So what my baby's found me. So every time I write just once a week on my Anathalian series. I write just once a week. So every time I open my notebook, I handwrite it. So every time I open my notebook, I will go back, I date it so I know where I started last time. I will go back to that last date and I will read from there to catch up to where I am now. And that helps me just like remember what's going on. It helps you remember where the characters are, like who's standing here, who's actually in this scene, like what they're holding, what they're wearing. It helps you remember their, like what thought processes they're going with. I know I've edited some books where like in one paragraph somebody was feeling like really upset, and the next paragraph they were perfectly fine. And I wonder if like that's what happened, like they were writing and they came back later and they started typing again, and then it's like completely different. But if you read what you have written in the past, then you catch yourself up and you're like, oh yeah, this is where everybody's at, this is what's going on. And it just gets your head in this place where you can just dive right back in, and it's just seamless. You can't tell where you stopped and picked up. So that really, really helps to read over what you did the time before. And that's not editing, that's just reading over. But while you read over that stuff, I find it really good to edit the small things. Like if I left out a word and I need that word in the sentence, I'll just stop and write with my pencil and write it in. Or if I left out a letter on a word, like I leave out S sometimes, or if I have it in the wrong verb tense, you can come do the video with me. Or if I have it in the wrong verb tense, like he I don't know, he fights and it should be he fought, I'll just change it. Or if I leave out he and she and as, and I leave out all kinds of things when I'm writing because my brain is just like going and I know what I mean. And it's really helpful to do that the next time you write, because you're going to remember what you were trying to say. Because if like you go back and read it when you're just like, if I went back and read it when I was trying to type, I'd be like, oh man, what did I mean? Was that like he or her or this or that? Like I wouldn't quite remember. It might be easy to tell, but some things like I leave out a verb, a whole verb, and I'm like, oh man, what verb was that I wanted to use? And I can remember because it was just a week ago. And a lot of people write every day, and if you do that every day, then you can remember the word that you were trying to use the day before a lot better than if you try to like months later when you're trying to work on the book a lot later. So do those little editing things to help yourself out later, because it does help. All those little things add up. If you're typing especially, because then like you get to those later edits and you leave out all these little words and all these little things, and it's just so annoying and you have to catch them all. But if you do a little bit each time, you're able to catch more and notice more because you're reading it for the story, and you notice, oh, this doesn't make sense with the story, rather than being in your editing brain and just being like, okay, we need to focus on this right now. It helps you later on to catch all those little things while you're going. If you don't have time, like some people do write every day and they only write like 20 minutes. I read over what I read the previous week and it takes like an hour or two, which sounds awful, but I love it. It takes like an hour or two. If you don't have that kind of time, because I write all day, just one day, all day. That's what I do. So I write a lot. But if you don't have the time to read over what you read over last, at least read enough to get a sense of the scene you're writing or the last scene you wrote, like the last couple paragraphs maybe. Or if you started a chapter and just got a page in, read that last page. Read enough that, like I said a little bit earlier in the video, so you know what's going on and you don't like forget characters or forget what they've got in their hands or forget what they're doing or forget their emotions. This kind of editing is like prevention rather than fixing it after it's been done. Because I do, like, with my editing job, I do find a lot of things that's like, I wonder if, like, they just kind of forgot what they were writing and they picked up right here because things are a little different. And it's just so easy to prevent if you just read over what you wrote. What are you doing? I'm talking to my baby. Okay, he's probably going to knock the tripod down. So rereading, I'm reading over my notes. Rereading, you'll make less mistakes, you'll remember the details, you'll remember the bigger plot events, and it helps you dive back into writing so the writing flows well. It helps you catch little mistakes while you still remember it, and mostly don't worry about big stuff. Like, yay! Like, if you're reading along and you start thinking, oh, like, does this make sense with the whole entire book? I don't know. Do I need to go back to my, some people may, I don't. Some people have like totally organized plans and they write out their outline and everything. And you're like, oh, I have to go back to my outline. Don't worry about like big stuff. Big stuff, once you get the whole story written, fix the big stuff later. I'm talking like little stuff as you go. Fix the little stuff. If you want to, you definitely can. There's nothing, hey, please stop that. There's nothing saying that you can't edit it exactly how you want. But as you're going, and if you notice something, don't worry about it too much. That can be fixed pretty easily in the later stages when you have like that big picture view of your whole story already written. And this step, hey, please stop, come here, let the people listen. Oh, come here. He's found a calculator and he's beating the tripod with it. This step is not essential, but it is very helpful. Like I said, I always find little mistakes and correct it because while you're deep in writing, you're focused on the story and not the correctness of the story. Even me, and my personality type is correctness, and I even make mistakes and lots of mistakes because while you're in the story, you're just in the story enjoying it. But anyway, let me know if you, in the comments, let me know if you reread what you previously wrote, or like if you do something, a version of that, or if you make like a lot of small mistakes like me, or if you do big edits while you're reading back over it each time while you're writing. Let me know how you edit while you are in your writing process, and let's see if we can help each other, give each other tips or suggestions. So that is the editing tip for this week. Please like this video, please leave a comment, please share this video with others. Please check out that video of my editing services and the 4 types of editing in the description below. And remember, this video is part of a series, so please watch the series so you can make your book the best that it can be. If you want to know more about Anna Thalian or HAPruitt, please follow me on Instagram at HAPruitt. You can find me on Amazon as an Amazon author, HAPruitt. Please watch my YouTube channel and all my cool videos on my channel, HAPruitt Anna Thalian. You can find me on the Facebook page, HAPruitt Anna Thalian. You can follow me on Goodreads by the name HAPruitt and the book Anna Thalian, or you can go to my website where so much cool stuff about Anna Thalian is. The website is HAPruitt.com.